Hello, everyone. I'm William Bell with allthingsfulfilled.com, and I'd like to take a few moments to talk about Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 28, particularly because there's a buzz going on the internet at the moment about body art, tattooing, and other markings on the body as it relates to the law of Moses. And as you know, if you've studied with us for some time, you understand that we have an eschatological view that says that the law of Moses has been fulfilled. Well, if that is the case, there are some implications of applying certain laws of Moses to our modern day Christian practice and even as we interpret modern culture. So I want to talk about that just a little bit from the perspective of looking at it from an eschatological point of view. But let me say, I'd like to ask you to, number one, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done it. So go ahead and take a moment to do that. Secondly, I'd like for you to visit our website because there's a lot more that I'm going to share on this subject that I can't do in this little short video that I'm going to be doing here in just a moment, or that I'm doing. So I want you to take a moment to go to the website and go ahead and listen to the audio file there. You can read the text there, but I'm also going to do some additional posts there and bring some more information on the subject so that we can put this into perspective. Now, that being said, let's talk about the law of Moses, Leviticus 19:28, and our application of it as it relates to body art, to tattooing, etc. Now, when we look at that particular passage, of course, we have it in Leviticus 19:28, but one of the things that we need to be aware of is that the Bible teaches that the law of Moses has been fulfilled. Matthew chapter 5, verses 17 and 18. Jesus said, "Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I did not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say to you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle will in no wise pass from the law till all is fulfilled." Now, that being the case, we have to deal with Leviticus 19:28 from the perspective of a fulfilled law, and that has serious implications for the way we look at eschatology, but it also has some implications for the way in which we interpret our Christian practice and also the culture that we have. Now, one of the things about the Old Covenant was that they were under the law of Moses and were under the Levitical priesthood. Now, very early on, God told Israel that he wanted them to be a nation of priests. And my good friend, Don K. Preston of Preterist Research Institute, we both host a broadcast on AD70.net, which airs on Tuesday evenings at 6 p.m. Central Time. We encourage you to visit with us on that. And that show is produced by Michael Loomis. But we want you to recognize one of the points that Don made in our study just on last night. And that was that God had required that the entire nation of Israel be priests. However, Israel refused to accept that charge. They refused to accept that responsibility. And because of it, the priesthood by default was given to Aaron and to Moses. You can see that in Psalm 99 and verse 6. Well, as a result of that, God chose the Levitical tribe, the tribe from the Levites, to be his priests. They were sanctified, set apart to that end, so that they would be the priests of God. But when we look at what God had intended from Exodus chapter 19, God wanted the entire nation to be a kingdom of priests to him because they were his special treasure. But when they heard his voice, they were all afraid, they trembled, and they said, "Don't let God speak to us anymore." And because of that, God chose Moses and Aaron to speak to the people and to give them the instructions. Now, it was the job of the priests to teach and instruct Israel, as well as to offer sacrifices for atonement for sin. But also they were representative of the entire nation, because God actually, if you look in Exodus 13 and Leviticus 18, I believe it is, God was going to take the entire nation and he redeemed the nation through the priests, a representative number of the priests. So it's very important to understand that correlation between the priesthood and the Old Testament. Now, when we look at Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 28 that talks about these body markings, that talks about these tattoos and everything, was God speaking to everybody blankly, or was he talking particularly to the priesthood? And I would like to cite as a reference that you look at Deuteronomy chapter 14 and verse 1, but also look at Leviticus 21 verses 1 through 5, and you'll have a little bit more of that context. Now, one of the things that God wanted for Israel was for Israel to be separate from the other nations. And of course, you know that Israel's sin was that they wanted to have a king like all the other nations. They engaged in all of the other practices like the other nations. But in Deuteronomy chapter 7, 1 through 4 particularly, he told them to come out from those nations, don't mingle with them, don't intermarry with them, because he wanted them to be separate. And the reason for that was he did not want their hearts to be turned away from him as a result of their idolatrous practices. He didn't want Israel practicing those things. Now, it was among the occults and among the foreign nations, they used various body markings in their mourning, in their grief, and they did so in their worship of their gods, etc. So these things were connected with idolatrous worship. And because God had sanctified the priests, had separated them to himself, he did not want them practicing those things. But there is some application to today that we want to look at. So he was prohibiting their soothsaying, prohibiting all of these occultic practices that were there, that were engaged in false worship of these idols, etc. And that's important to know. But it's also significant, as we were pointing out, that God changed the Levitical priesthood to the priesthood of Christ. Let me give you a couple of scriptures on that, because it's so key for us to understand that the Levitical priesthood is the foundation. It is the basis upon which the law of Moses rested. In Hebrews chapter 7 and verse 11, he says, if perfection were by the Levitical priesthood, for under it the people receive the law, what need was there for another priesthood that should arise after the order of Melchizedek and not be called after the order of Aaron? In other words, if they could have been perfected by the Levitical priesthood, why would God change it? But he says, for under the Levitical priesthood, the people received the law. So in essence, what he's saying is wherever the law goes, or wherever, the priesthood goes, that's where the law goes. Now, if God changed the priesthood, it means that he changed the law. It is evident, the Bible says, that Jesus is a priest after the order of Melchizedek. And the Bible says that Moses spoke nothing concerning the tribe of Judah as it related to priesthood. And therefore, if we're going to follow Christ, we've got to follow the priesthood of Christ. He is from, that is fleshly, his fleshly inheritance was from the tribe of Judah, not from the tribe of Levi. So for all of those out there who are claiming we got to go back and rebuild the temple, we got to go back and reestablish the priesthood, we got to go find the red heifer, we have to go back and reinstitute all of these, we got to put Israel back into the physical land. All of these things were a part of that old covenant system, which Paul says, by the way, has passed away. As a matter of fact, in Jeremiah chapter 31, verses 31 through 34, Jeremiah foretold of the coming days when the old covenant would pass away and God would make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. He says, behold, the days come, says the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers when I took them by the hand and led them out of Egypt, which covenant they broke, says the Lord, even though I was a husband to them. He says, but this is the covenant which I will make with the house of Israel after those days. I will put my laws in their minds, write them in their hearts. They shall be to me a people, and I will be to them a God. And they shall no longer teach every man his neighbor or his brother, saying, know the Lord, for all shall know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them. I will be merciful to their iniquities and their sins and their unrighteousness. I will remember no more. Now, Paul quotes that passage in Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 13 and says the following. In that he says, a new covenant he has made the first old. Now that which decays and waxes old or is becoming obsolete is nigh unto vanishing. And so he says the old covenant has become obsolete. It was about to pass away when Paul wrote. And therefore, why are people pulling passages out of the old covenant, both for eschatology and for their soteriology and practical living? Why are they doing it in order to try and justify or to condemn certain practices that were focused particularly there. Now, that's not to say that there is not some prohibition involved in what's going on, but I don't have the time to go through all of the steps of that and to cover all of that in this short video, because you know we do have limits in the terms of the time that we do. So I want you to visit the website and read more about this. Also listen to the audio there, but I'm also going to be doing some additional recording on this as well, so that we can see how the practical implications of this all fall into place. So as I close, once again, please visit the website. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to this channel. And one final tip I want to let you know, we have a new book coming out, and I'm not going to announce it now, but it's going to be made available at Amazon.com and other places. And in another video, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the upcoming book. So until next time, I'm William Bell with AllThingsFulfilled.com.